the WWE will be presenting us with the night one and night two of WrestleMania. A lot of people have been giving their fantasy bookings about WrestleMania 42, so I decided to take it upon myself to give you guys my own fantasy card of WrestleMania 42. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. This is the Wrestling Takeover Podcast.
Welcome to...
You're listening to the Wrestling Takeover.
What is your name?
With your host, Jordan Turner, who's always going to keep it real.
Come on, King.
Inside and outside the ring.
Let me make myself clear. He's got the fans behind him, King.
It's time to take over, King.
Are you ready? He's all fired up now, King. The Takeover.
Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the realest, most honest, most creative, most passionate, most knowledgeable, and most importantly, the most respected wrestling WWE podcast in the space. This is the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, and I'm your host, Jordan Turner. We're back once again. And topic today, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42, y'all. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42. We are going to be fantasy booking WrestleMania 42, the best possible, most realistic, okay? We got to keep it realistic, you feel me? And I've been seeing a lot of really interesting, I would say, WrestleMania 42 cards. I've been seeing cards that I'm a little concerned about, and we're going to start with a conversation that needs to be had, okay? I've been saying this ever since I came onto the pod, and ever since I covered every WrestleMania since 2020, since I first started this podcast journey back in 2020, man. I understand not everybody is going to be on the WrestleMania card, okay? I have about 14 matches on the card. I'm not sure how many matches are going to be on night one or night two. The total will definitely be over 10, for sure. But what is the full amount? I don't know. I'm probably going to predict on the ballpark of 13 to 14 matches. They want to get everybody on the card. The card that I got are matches that I have validity to them. I have story. I have a reason that these matches are going to be on the card. Now, I do not have Sami Zayn on WrestleMania's card. I don't know what he's going to do. Just point blank period. There's going to be people that are on the card. There's going to be people that are not on the WrestleMania card. Now, there are a couple backup matches that I'm going to be presenting to you guys if a plan A does not go into fruition in a specific match that I have on this lineup right here that I have. I have maybe a plan B and a plan C on potential matches that I can see taking place on WrestleMania. It's going to be a lighthearted video, you guys. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Like I said, I love to bring the creativity aspect to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast each and every video. Like I said, I don't call myself the most creative wrestling podcast in the space. Obviously, the most creative and honest wrestling podcast in the space. So I love to bring that creativity to each and every platform that I put the podcast on. So hopefully you guys enjoy this great video about WrestleMania. Let's get into it, man. We're going to start from the top, work our way all the way down to the bottom. So we're going to start off with the Women's WWE Championship match. What do I see taking place at WrestleMania now? I do see Jade Cargill rolling into WrestleMania as the Women's Champion. So we got that figured out. Here's the problem. Here is the situation that we're currently in, right? We do not know. We have no idea what's going on with Bianca Belair. Okay. We don't know what's going on with her. Okay. And I'm pretty concerned. I'm not going to hold you. I'm pretty concerned. We're all concerned. We all thought as a fan base that she was going to be involved in the Women's Royal Rumble. We all thought that she was going to potentially be number 29 or number 30. We didn't get that. And that's concerning. You feel me? That's concerning. We miss B. We miss B. We want her on our TV screens. She's really, really missed in the SmackDown Women's division. Like, we got to keep it. We got to keep it 100. You know what I mean? We got to keep it 100. She's missed on WWE TV like nobody's business. The women's division on Friday Night SmackDown is not good. And a lot of women are just clunked up in, the women's tag team titles, which is fine. But you don't have a lot of opponents for Jade Cargill. And I'm not trying to see Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton again. Now, let's hope that is not the plan, for Jade Cargill. So I got two options for you. Number one, which I would rather prefer to see, is Jade Cargill going one-on-one with Bianca Belair. They have the history. I don't need to explain myself further regarding that situation. Or, number two, we get Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. And the reason why I would probably do a triple threat match as the backup plan is because maybe Bianca Belair isn't really 100% or say, you know what I mean? And they want to use her. They want her to come back, but she's not fully at 100%. So they bring in Tiffany Stratton as kind of like a vehicle to protect a Bianca Belair, and we might get that. So we'll see. I don't really know what's going to happen. It could be a triple threat match, or it could be a one-on-one between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, a match that people desperately want to see, including myself. Let's get into the next match, the match that we already know is confirmed. Roman Reigns and CM Punk are going to go toe-to-toe. They're going to go at it for the World Heavyweight title. And this is going to be the main event of night 2, as it should. Y'all watch that promo on Monday Night Raw between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Let me talk to y'all for a second. That promo, specifically regarding Roman Reigns, hands down, is most definitely in the top 5 of the best Roman Reigns promos, not only of his entire WWE career, but that promo on Monday Night Raw is going to go down as one of the greatest Roman Reigns promos, portraying himself as the tribal chief and the head of the table. The promo was immaculate. The promo was star-studded. That promo was poetry. The promo was art. Okay? As people like to say, that promo was cinema. It was incredible. CM Punk, we know what CM Punk brings to the table on the microphone. CM Punk is going to go down as one of the greatest talkers in the game all time in WWE history. You know that, I know that. Roman Reigns is climbing himself up there. I'll tell you that right now. This is the right match to do for the World Heavyweight title. Now, we know plans changed. Originally, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes 1v1 for the WWE Championship. They changed it because reportedly Triple H, he's talking about how fans would have fatigued, and that's the reason why the match got switched. Yeah, that is pretty much true. We got to be honest. That is true. It would be fatigued. Now, just because it was fatigued don't mean it don't make sense. That match made sense to happen. and it was going to happen. Triple H got cold feet, understandably so. And I'm happy that they changed it. We can do this another time. We can do a Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes 3 another time. But Punk didn't really have a plan in place. You know, Rollins got hurt and fucked up his plans as well too. So I'm happy that this is the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania. And I'm happy that this is the match that is going to close night 2 of WrestleMania. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. Like, I am like super amped and I'm super pumped for what we're going to get. So I can't wait for that to happen. Let's talk about a match that I'm honestly indifferent about. Now, it makes sense. What am I talking about? Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. It makes sense. So why am I going to complain about it? I'm not going to complain about it because it makes sense. But what I will say is you could do better. You could do better in terms of options. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton is another option that I would personally consider doing. Then again, you don't want Drew McIntyre, he barely had the title, to be a transitional champion. When you're this close to WrestleMania, every person that holds these championships, they need to take them into WrestleMania. So I think Drew McIntyre needs to take the title into WrestleMania. Because if he loses it, what is he going to do at WrestleMania? It just doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So Drew McIntyre is going to roll into WrestleMania as the WWE champion. We have Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu making it a triple threat match, and that's fine. But what about Randy Orton? Well, Randy Orton is somebody who does not have plans for WrestleMania. Randy Orton has beef with Jacob Fatu. Randy Orton has beef with Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton has a rich history with Cody Rhodes. Why not make it a fatal 4-way match? Even make it a fatal 4-way elimination match. But if you just want to make it a fatal 4-way, make the match have, drama, suspense, right? I think a fatal 4-way is the way to go. Because I don't think they're doing Cody Rhodes beating Drew McIntyre before WrestleMania and having Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I don't think we're going to get that. Now, we need to get that later on in the year. I will say that. But right now where we stand, Drew McIntyre does need to roll into WrestleMania as the champ. And I personally believe adding Randy Orton might be the best bet. If not, we have the triple threat between Fatu, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. It should be fine. But we're all looking forward to more of Roman Reigns and CM Punk than the WWE title. I'm just going to be honest with you. Let's move on. Let's talk about the United States Championship match. And I know this is kind of a topic of conversation, a topic that I'm very concerned about for WWE, because I just don't think they're going to put this championship and put Carmelo Hayes in a high-profile match. Now, there's two options for the United States Championship match. One is a ladder match. And the individuals that I would include is Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, Sami Zayn potentially, Aleister Black, and maybe Solo Sikoa in a ladder match for the United States Championship. That's fine. That would be okay. You would take the blueprint of getting everybody on the card. To each their own, but to me personally, if you really have not been on TV in high-profile affairs or just on TV in general, and you're just randomly on a match, I'm not interested in that as a fan. The one thing I do not want, and WWE continues to do it, is what it is. I don't like pointless matches on Premier Live events, especially WrestleMania. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. And I think the U.S. title match is something that we honestly might get that. And that kind of sucks. Now, unless you do a story where everybody is gunning for Carmelo Hayes. And I mean everybody. Aleister Black, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, Trick Williams, everybody, right? Dragunov, everybody, you know what I mean, is gunning for him. And you do a tournament, so to speak, or qualifying matches to enter in the United States Championship ladder match, qualifications, or qualifying matches. And we get all of them in a ladder match. Now, that's fine. But me personally, if I had the pen, I would do a one-on-one match between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They have history. They got just a rich, rich story that can be centered at WrestleMania. WrestleMania needs to be about creating new stars and building for the future, right? Building for the future and creating new stars, right? And I think the U.S. title match is a perfect opportunity to do that. So I would go with Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. But if they do the ladder match, I'm cool with that too. Speaking of creating new stars, next matchup is a match that I do see happening. I do see it being confirmed in the upcoming weeks. Seth Rollins is going to go one-on-one with Braun Breaker. It's now or never. Seth Rollins is going to be back. I believe he's the man that curb stomped Braun Breaker and eliminated him, or helped Obafemi eliminate him in the Men's Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins, if y'all don't remember, he got kicked out of the Vision. So, for his revenge, he's going to want to come out and then fuck over and screw over a Braun Breaker. So, that's what he did. I don't know if Braun Breaker is going to get another opportunity to go for the world title. And if he does, Seth Rollins needs to be the guy to screw him over again. It makes sense. It calls for it. Seth Rollins can screw over Braun Breaker, and then Braun Breaker gets eliminated inside the Elimination Chamber. Now, I would not make Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker just a one-on-one match. If they want to do that, cool. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. I would make it like a last man standing match or a street fight. That's just me. The feud calls for it. The feud does make sense for a match like a last man standing or a street fight to take place. You do a last man standing match, you can protect both men. Then again, you do a street fight, Seth Rollins can take a loss. He's Seth Rollins. He's already established in the game. So you do a street fight, Seth Rollins can take the pin, no pressure. You do a last man standing match, you can protect Seth Rollins in a defeat as well. Next up, we're going to talk about another match that I do see happening and do seeing being confirmed. It's AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. No more opinions on it. We already know that's going to happen. Next up, a match that I'm just randomly in my head at this point being creative and trying to put the best possible matches on the card. This is for the Raw Tag Team titles. I personally would do the Usos versus the Lucha Bros. That's one idea. That's for the Raw Tag Team titles. Those are two of the greatest tag teams in this generation. Nothing else needs to be said about that. Idea B, the Lucha Bros versus the Usos versus the Street Profits in a TLC match. That's another match that I would do at WrestleMania. The plan C are the Usos versus the Hardy Boys. And the Hardy Boys coming out and confronting the Usos. Yo, y'all think y'all the best tag team in the world. Y'all think y'all the best tag team of all time. That's us. And we're going to prove that at WrestleMania. We get the Hardy Boys versus the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag team titles. So those are the potential matches that I would personally do for the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag team titles. You got the Usos versus the Lucha Bros in a straight tag team match. You got the Usos versus the Lucha Bros versus the Street Profits in a triple threat TLC match. Or you got the Usos versus the Hardy Boys in a tag team match. You want to include the Hardy Boys, make it a fatal 4-way TLC match? You can do that too with 4 teams. You can do that too. So that's kind of the imagination. That's kind of the mindset that I have regarding the Raw tag team titles. Dominic Mysterio is going to go one-on-one with Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. No explanation really needed there. We kind of know that match going to happen as well too. Here is where we are going to fantasy book, quote unquote. Now, I know for a fact Liv Morgan is going to challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the women's championship, and that's going to be the 1v1 at WrestleMania. I already know that. Okay. But what if? What if? All right. Now, as I'm saying that, Stephanie Vaquer defeated Raquel Rodriguez on Monday Night Raw to retain the title. But what if we get Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan, right, at WrestleMania, and Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez screw over Liv Morgan and kick her out of Judgment Day by screwing her over at WrestleMania and having Stephanie Vaquer retain the title? You want to know why? Because Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan didn't do nothing to help Roxanne Perez. So they're going to take all this frustration out on Liv Morgan to screw her over by winning or by having her lose the championship opportunity. They screw her over and they kick her out of Judgment Day. I believe Finn Balor is going to get kicked out of Judgment Day as well. And I believe it's going to be Dominic Mysterio, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and maybe somebody else. I know JD McDonough is still there too, so maybe keep him around. Let me know. Because I just don't see WWE. You know, before Monday Night Raw took place, I was thinking of a Judgment Day triple threat match between Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. It made sense. Thinking about that, what were you going to do with Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania? It just, you know, you come up with multiple ideas. You know what I mean? And one of them clicks. And we got what we got on Monday Night Raw. So that triple threat, Judgment Day, 3-way, that's over. That's not going to happen. But what if we get a fatal 4-way between Vaquer, Roxanne, Raquel, and Liv? It's possible. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, I'm being creative, and I'm coming up with multiple variables and ideas. Now, how would that make sense? You already have Liv Morgan. You have Stephanie Vaquer there. Now, how would Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez get opportunities? That one I don't know about. That's what I'm saying. That idea is probably not happening. But the Judgment Day triple threat match for the world title definitely would have been something that I could have, got invested into, and really would have been. Honestly, it actually is a smart idea. If you really want to be honest, it really is a smart idea to do a Judgment Day triple threat for the women's world title. The problem is that we run into is, what is Stephanie Vaquer going to do? Now, if you want to make it, like I said, a fatal 4-way, that makes sense as well. But then again, if you do that, how is Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez going to get involved? That I do not know. We'll see, though. Women's Tag Team Championships. I know it pains me. Fuck WWE. I don't know what changed. Something changed. I think they really realized that they're really into Liv Morgan a lot, and they love Liv Morgan, and they want to give her a women's world title run. That was crystal clear. because months ago, we kept seeing interactions between Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer, and we kept seeing it. Everybody in their right mind, like myself, thought we were going to get Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, and that was going to be the women's world title match. My other plan for the women's tag team titles were going to be Liv Morgan teaming up with Roxanne Perez and going after the tag team titles. That's clearly not happening. The plans changed. It is what it is. We're going to get what we're going to get. So, it is what it is. But the women's tag team titles, I know people wanted Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer. I did too. Because I would have put Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan as a tag team and having them go after the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. You got to think about Io Sky, though. You got to think about Io Sky, and I know people were pushing for Io Sky versus Asuka to take place at WrestleMania. That's cool as an undercard match, but do you realistically see WWE doing something like that? I don't see that. I really don't see WWE doing that. They want to build up the women's tag team titles to be somewhat prestigious, to be somewhat important, and we're going to get what we're going to get. It is what it is. I'm cool with it. I would make this a ladder match, to be honest. I would kind of paint this as get everybody on the card mentality here. But there is another plan that I would do. But the first plan that I personally would do is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Bella Twins versus Nia Jackson, Last Legend versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez in a ladder match for the women's tag team titles. I would have all those teams compete in a ladder match to go after the tag team titles. That's idea number one. Idea number two, a straight up tag team match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Bella Twins. And while thinking about that, I think plan B is probably going to happen more than plan A. But we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, those are kind of the directions that I see going on with the women's tag team titles. And honestly, I'm okay with it. I ain't sweating it. You know what I mean? Those are solid ideas. We'll see what trigger WWE is going to pull. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, man. Brock Lesnar, I feel, is going to face one of these two people at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar is going to go one-on-one with Gunther, or Brock Lesnar is going to go one-on-one with Obafemi. And I chose Obafemi because I personally believe SummerSlam is going to take place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe, let's hope that SummerSlam is Brock Lesnar's retirement match. It makes a lot of sense. He's from there, and that's where I would eventually pull the trigger on Gunther. You could maybe have Brock Lesnar win the World title and go on a little run and have Gunther be the one to slay Brock Lesnar and reclaim the World Heavyweight Championship. Or you can have Gunther win the World title and Brock Lesnar wanting to go on a run to be the World Champion one more time, and he'll get his opportunity, even if he holds it for like a couple hours at SummerSlam, and we get Brock Lesnar and Gunther at SummerSlam. I would personally go Obafemi, though. I would go with Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Create new stars. That needs to be the blueprint of WrestleMania 42. Create new stars. You got Jade Cargill, right? You got Tiffany Stratton. You got Braun Breaker. You got Jacob Fatu. You got Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams. You have the Lucha Bros, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, right? Well, not Liv Morgan, but a run of Liv Morgan would be solid. Last Legend, right? Obafemi. You got to create new stars at WrestleMania 42. New generations coming up. But Brock Lesnar and Obafemi makes a lot more sense to take place at WrestleMania than Gunther and Brock Lesnar. Then again, Gunther's gimmick is taking out all the legends. So, he can go one-on-one with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I would be cool with that. I ain't sweating it. Me personally, I would pull the trigger on Obafemi, capturing a big win against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and establishing that Obafemi is the future of this business. You can do Gunther. I ain't tripping. But I would save Gunther and Brock Lesnar for Brock Lesnar's rumored, quote unquote, rumored retirement in SummerSlam in his hometown in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Randy Orton, speaking of Gunther, if we do not do Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, Gunther needs to be a part of something. Gunther is on this, I'm slaying all the legends, I'm retiring on all the legends. He might not retire all the legends, he might just beat the legends, because Randy Orton's not retiring at WrestleMania. But I would have Gunther. If Obafemi is getting Brock Lesnar, which personally, this is what I would do. Randy Orton's going to want to get his revenge at King of the Ring. He's never beaten Gunther. He wants to beat Gunther. He wants to slay Gunther. Gunther, on the other hand, is the modern-day legend killer, right? That's what I and a lot of other fans have kind of labeled, and WWE kind of labeled Gunther as that as well. It makes sense. Randy Orton and Gunther do have history. So I'm not just throwing this match out of thin air. Okay? Randy Orton versus Gunther makes a lot of sense. So I'm not trying to hear people say, yo, that don't make sense. Yes, it does. Just please do your research. It does make sense. You got to get Gunther on the card. Like I said, I've been seeing some people, do WrestleMania cards. They ain't got Gunther in there. I don't know why you ain't got Gunther in there. Be creative. It's really not that hard, y'all. If y'all want Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, cool. Randy Orton versus Gunther is the safest bet possible to get Gunther in a high-profile match and also to get Randy Orton on a WrestleMania card in a high-profile match. Simple. I've been hearing about Speed versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I ain't trying to see that. I ain't trying to see Logan Paul versus Randy Orton. I'm not trying to see that. I'll get to Logan Paul in a little bit because I do have Logan Paul competing at WrestleMania, and I have Logan Paul in a high-profile match. So we'll see what happens. El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. Okay. Kaiser versus Chad Gable. It makes sense. This is comedy spot for WrestleMania. They always have to have these, right? I would pull this trigger. It makes sense. Story's there. Just finish it at WrestleMania. And please stop with this mask stuff that Triple H is. You doing this shit? This shit corny as hell, bro. This shit corny as hell, nigga. Like, I'm just, personally, for me, I'm over it. Let's get something new. This mask stuff, I'm over it. But the story does make sense, and it does deserve to be on a big stage like WrestleMania. El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. It makes sense. The Women's United States Championship, like I said, this is my card. I'm putting the matches that I think deserve to be on the card. You need to showcase the Women's United States Championship match. If you're showcasing the Women's Intercontinental title, you need to showcase the Women's United States Championship. If you're showcasing the Women's Tag Team titles, you need to showcase the Women's United States Championship. I'm tired of this disrespect shit with Julia. It's bugging a nigga out, bro. It's bugging a nigga out, bro. Julia is one of the best in the world. WWE rumored about, they see the criticism that they've been given about Julia. Yeah, nigga, like, you ain't pushing her right. You don't just have a random as the Women's United States Champion. She ain't just a random, bruh. Like, she's real special. Make her such. She has a history with Jordynne Grace, dating back to NXT. Jordynne Grace is not going to be competing for the Women's World title. Maybe she does, and I'm completely wrong. And I'm a big fan of Jordynne Grace. So, maybe she does compete for the Women's World title at WrestleMania. Okay, cool. That's fine. If Bianca really isn't ready, do Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace. Triple threat for the Women's Championship. That's another match that they can do for the Women's Championship. Picture situation. Bianca Belair, baby, please come back. Bianca Belair, you are missed tremendously. I would have Julia versus Jordynne Grace, though, for the Women's United States Championship. If you do not have Jordynne Grace, and Jordynne Grace is actually in a world title match, I already have a backup while I'm recording this right now. Do Kiana James versus Julia. It makes sense. They got history. That might not be a WrestleMania match to you guys, but I mean, I don't think it's a WrestleMania match either, but you got to have this title match on the show. You have to. It just makes sense. If you don't have it, it's like it's an embarrassment to the title, but then you have the women's intercontinental title. And people going to be like, well, Becky Lynch and AJ Lee are bigger stars than Julia and whoever her opponent is. Man, nah, you right, but like, come on, man. Like, you're right. I hear you, but come on, bro. Why you bringing the women's U.S. title anyway? Why'd you even create it if you ain't going to really put some importance to it? It's like, I don't get it. Hey, man, listen, what if Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss is for the women's United States Championship? I'm just saying. Now, this is a match that I do have on the card. I think they're going to split up. Personally, I do think they're going to split up. And I think we're going to get Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss one-on-one. This is a match that I do think is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen at WrestleMania, but if it does, then it is what it is. But I do think they're going to split up. Me personally, I wouldn't split them up yet, but if they do, I understand why. Let's get to this Logan Paul match, man. Logan Paul, I will have him go one-on-one with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. And the reason why I said that is there's rumors that Bad Bunny is rumored to be coming back to the WWE in the near future. Near future, I'm thinking after the Super Bowl. Near future, I think WrestleMania. And I think he's going to be a part of it in a match. And me personally, I would have him go one-on-one with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I would have him go one-on-one with Logan Paul. If not, you can have Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny in a tag team match against Logan Paul and a partner of his choosing. Maybe Bronson Reed of the Vision. Maybe Austin Theory of the Vision. Showcase those guys. So that's another idea that I can see, maybe WWE doing in the near future. We'll see. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to, transpire there. But those are my matches that I'm thinking about regarding WrestleMania. I know there's people that I don't have on the card. I'm sorry. I just feel not everybody deserves to be on the card. That's just me personally. But let me know how y'all feeling about WrestleMania's card. The good, the bad, the ugly. Talk to me. Let me know. Turn on all notifications. Press that subscribe button on YouTube. Spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover podcast. Word of mouth goes a long way. And also follow me on social media. I am on Twitter. Man. I tweet about my opinions on pro wrestling. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at JT Takeover. Same thing on Instagram. I have my own podcast Instagram account. So if you guys want to follow me on there, Instagram at The Wrestling Takeover, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of the support. I do WWE content here and there on TikTok as well. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, I'm on TikTok.com/JT Takeover, man. So I appreciate all the love and support, man. Thank y'all. And I'll catch y'all later this week for some more upcoming WWE videos on the Wrestling Takeover podcast right here on YouTube.